What's up, man? Looks like you're in a different tab. Is that right? Can you hear me? You there? What are you doing? What's going on? Hello? You? Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Ax, what's going on, man?
Oh, hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's great to be here with you.
Finally getting you on the air. Look at this.
I know it's been too long.
Been way
I
too
think
long.
the last time we did this, what was I like? I think I just took the CBSE, and then we were given all the facts, and I'm glad I haven't had to think about it much since. But
How's the year so far? How's everything going?
it's good. It's good. First year of residency is definitely an adjustment. We can go into it at any point if you want.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, it's good. You get it doesn't get easier, as someone once told me. You just get better at it. So and that comes. It's both clinical stuff and also just like kind of how you carry yourself every day and think about certain things. So it's all just learning, part of the journey here.
That's right. That's right. It's one day at a time. And so you're in the end of first year now, right?
I guess you can call it. Yeah, I guess I'm in the end, which is nice because I actually have two of my vacation weeks left over that I have pre-booked. You actually, in residency, as you know, you have to submit your request so early on, and so you can't just electively choose to take a vacation whenever you want. But two of my vacations are in May and June, doing some fun
Hmm.
stuff, but it'll make the end of the year a little bit nicer. And then yeah, July 1st, I guess I'm second year, which is a weird, but I feel like
Already.
I just started. I know, very. It went pretty. It went pretty quick, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know.
And just to give listeners a background, I mean, we've known each other for wow, going on close to probably, and yeah, dental school,
Well, so I was
right?
like definitely a senior in college, and
Right.
I saw some news article written about you and Sean, and then I had reached out because I realized you guys were from Stony Brook, and then one thing led to another, and I had so many questions, and you were so receptive towards all my, me constantly bugging you with things, and
Ah,
uh, I think one of the sessions we were like, let's record it and see if any of the questions are relevant for other people, and that's a great, it's a great method you have. You can kill two birds with one stone, and
yeah.
yeah, it was cool. I mean, but yeah, it's been so long since. So that was in 2021, I guess, or like even 2020. Um,
Yeah, that's right. 2020. That's right. That was probably right around or before COVID. And then you got into and where was undergrad again? So just everyone.
so undergrad was at Cornell, and then I remember being at Cornell, and it was COVID, and I was like in my apartment, and I was like having some of these conversations with you,
That's right.
and then and dental schools at Stony Brook, obviously.
And now back at Cornell.
And now back at Cornell. So exactly. But this one's in the city. So
Yeah.
a lot of times I tell people I'm at Cornell, and then they think, "Oh, you went back to Ithaca, New York." And while I loved my time at Ithaca, I'm definitely loving it in Manhattan. So it's definitely where I want to be right now. Yeah.
It's busy. It's a lot going on. Living out in the city is much different from living up in Ithaca or in Stony Brook. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so I have the trifecta because I had suburbia for dental school and also growing up. I grew up on Long Island, and then there's the upstate New York, right? Like Cornell is known for its agricultural and like
Mm.
veterinary stuff, and so you have a lot of friends who are doing in research labs, and they're doing things like with like farm animals, and it's
Oh,
you're really like sometimes you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, which is really cool. It's like it's there's a whole nature preserve on campus, and you can just it's like spans for miles, and it's a really fascinating place. There's all these like waterfalls, and so it's definitely different from what we're experiencing now.
yeah.
But Manhattan, it's there's nothing like it, and to have this experience now is great. Like who knows for like long term, but it's cool to have the time now to be in the city, and all my friends from school are still here, luckily. So it's nice as well. But I know that you're in the big leagues now. You have a house.
Big leagues.
Yeah,
It's one thing leads to the next. It's going. It's going. I just got to find out the
great.
board exam. I'll find that hopefully within 2 weeks. Now that I'm like almost done with the process of household privileges, because yeah, they're very strict with it this year. They won't tell you if you passed or not until you show verified proof, like documentation that you have household privileges. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
whatever. But yeah, everything else is good.
yeah.
So
Let me know when you find out.
I will. I will. Yeah. Thank you.
How was the exam? What is that process like?
It's a lot. I got to say, you really need to spend time. It's a different kind of exam than you take ever before. Like you're talking, you answer verbally. That's the closest thing I think we get to that is like the OSCEs, but this is like real where it's 2-on-1. They're sitting across from you. There's a computer screen where they might point to like the patient, the case, the previous medical history, yada yada, and then they just hound you with questions. And depending on how you answer, they may keep digging in if they feel like you don't know it or you didn't answer it satisfactory. But if they did, they're like they don't say good job or like okay
Yeah, they're never going to
all
tell.
they say is I understand and they keep moving on. That's all the answer. They I understand.
Well, it's interesting with an OSCE. It's like you are, let's say, like a medical or dental student, and so whoever's examining you and evaluating you expects you to know, like, at the level of a medical student,
Yeah.
which is like there's like a finite, or a dental student, and it's like a finite amount of information that you should know at that given point in time. But it's like doing a board exam for like oral maxillofacial surgery. It's like you are now seen at the same level of anyone sitting on that panel.
Yeah.
Like almost like
Well,
they're going to scrutinize. Well, they're going to scrutinize. Like you're expected to know things at a level that is sometimes well beyond what you saw in residency. If you don't,
oh
if
yeah.
you hadn't done cases that were like, if you didn't do like a lot of cleft lip and palate cases, are you expected to know things at the level of, the
Yeah.
highest level? Yeah,
They asked me about cleft lip and palate, and I focused on more high yield stuff. So I was just like, I don't know. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
And so you can only get points if you can like either choose not to answer something. It's like you only get points if you want to pursue a certain. How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like this one attending Yenzer in Andrew Yenzer he's at Fort Liberty down in North Carolina. He's the program director there, and the way he describes it, it's kind of like Mario, where you're collecting coins. So you want to answer as many questions as possible to give you the highest percentage of correct, and then you gather points that way. So if you're going to try and answer something incorrectly, you're only digging yourself a hole by wasting time. You're showing them that you're not confident, and then you're going to try and BS these people that know what the answer is. That's why it's like what I did is just like I'm not sure at this time, or like I know this, but I don't remember this time. You know what I mean? Just take the loss and keep moving. So that's the
Totally, totally.
yeah.
So, did you prep? Like, are there courses you can take to prep?
Yeah, yeah. There are courses North Carolina. There's courses St. Louis. Those are the two I did. Then there's like LSU has a course. There's one in California. There's one in Denver. But yeah, there's a bunch of courses. You got to go there. You got to go in person, and then they run through the cases with you at some of these places, and it's good. It's good. I think it is a good thing to do. I disagree with the fact that rather than them kind of figuring out, okay, well, why don't oral surgeons want to get? Because there are many others out there that don't take the exam or don't have hospital privileges. And in New York, the hospitals aren't paying surgeons to take call to do the things that they need to do. So it's like there's no incentive to do it. But rather than going that direction, being like, you know what, we need to get an idea of these hospitals and talk to them and figure out what's going on to support our surgeons, right? No, it's just like, no, if you want to get your exam result, you need to be board certified. I think that's a band-aid and it doesn't fix anything going forward. Yeah, so just my
Yeah.
2 cents on it, but it is what it is. You're getting a good idea of what those New York hospitals are like now.
Uh, yes, I'm having a good time so far.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. Yeah, all is good. All is good. It's you work a lot and you like I it's you get used to being like sometimes a little bit confused, or you get used to being like uncomfortable, and as we don't need to emphasize, but that's where you make the biggest progress. So one of my seniors at one point was like, you're going to learn the most between the hours of like 1 and 3 a.m. And it's like while you're not going to like crack open a textbook, but there'll be experiences that stick with you, and that the next time something similar comes up, you will think back to those things either directly
Yeah.
or indirectly. So every day doesn't feel like I learned a lot, but I think when you like actually reflect and you like just even the way that you present a patient now, or you just are able to digest a note from another specialty. Like even with
Yeah.
it's a world's difference when you start to like see all the acronyms and you actually like know the acronyms now. And it's like before it was like I was literally so ChatGPT is blocked in my hospital because of the Wi-Fi, but I can like so they don't want us. I guess they don't want us using ChatGPT, but Open Evidence is great. Like
Yeah.
that's the
Great,
other like
great source.
healthcare one. And so that one's HIPAA compliant. So, but I wouldn't even use it for patient information. I just like literally wanted to know, like, if there'd be a whole sentence of abbreviations. It's like there's
Yeah.
no real words in it. I'm like, well, how do I even know what's going on with this patient? So I use open evidence on the go to like kind of give myself either reminders or just kind of tell me what's going on if it's
Yeah.
something that I'm unfamiliar with. And then that's almost like the Anki. Like it's like Anki on the go, because it's like, oh, I've seen this acronym before. Either I remember it or I don't, and it's like I'll look it up again, and then it's like, okay, like now I'm starting to build on my knowledge base a bit. But yeah,
It's a new language. It's a new language on the medical side, right?
yeah, it's good. Like I had my first Gen Surge month that I'm finishing up now, and so as it's just you're doing things that you've never done before, or you're asked to do like place a wound vac, and so like it's not hard, but it's like as a dental student, there's no class for that. Like there's no like instruction,
Not
there's
even
no
close. Yeah.
example you can look back on. So a lot of it's just like, you have to be motivated to try it for yourself, or if it's something that you feel like you need to watch an example of, you say like, oh hey, like I've never done this before, like do you mind if I watch you do this one, and then I'll do the ones in the future. And that everyone's very open to that. I think they're very used to having outside rotators on these services as well. So
they are.
you kind of get comfortable like admitting what you don't know. Whereas like if you're in your set specialty, like it's harder to do that sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, it's you learn a lot. You do a lot.
You do. Give me an idea of this first year, because you're already on Gen Surge rotations. I didn't have Gen Surge until, it was second year actually, now that I think about it. When you do anesthesia too.
So I did 2 months of anesthesia this year in January and February, and then March was Gen Surge. And then my Gen Surge is split into 2 weeks of trauma surgery, and then 2 weeks of burn surgery. My hospital has a burn center, and it's devastating stuff. It's it's things that you don't see every day, but when the whole unit is comprised of people who are recovering from like burn injuries, it's tough. It's really tough, and the surgeries it's incredible. It's totally necessary to help these people, but you're like excising skin, and there's really like, if there's an area that's deep enough, you take it, and it's like doesn't matter if it's on the face or the neck, and so as like an oral surgeon, like we're always working in the mouth, and it's like you do facial lacs and you do like stuff in the like as me as a first year, but then it's like if there was a burn involving the face, like you have to excise like lots of facial tissue. So it's like sort of weird seeing, like usually we work from inside and then go deeper, but it's weird to go from like outside in, and then it was just it's kind of a weird concept, but
yeah. And generally, we want to preserve the facial tissue as much as possible, minimize scarring. But then you're just taking out in chunks, right?
Yeah. So it's cool though. It's like cool surgery, and so I did a lot. That was like my last 2 weeks, for example. And then trauma surgery is trauma surgery. Just sort of some days are insane with what's going on, and some days are a little less busy. But yeah, like Gen Surge was good. It was just a whirlwind because it's like you're unfamiliar with stuff. But then my oral surgery year is. You need to be everyone needs to be an intern at some point. So, I'm taking care of that now, and then things will sort of progress, I guess, and get to do more and more every year. So then second year is big off-service year as well. So we have our plastics, ENT, emergency room, and a few other stuff in there. And then I think we only have 2 months of OMFS the second year, and then the rest third and fourth year is straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You only did 2 months on anesthesia, so you're going to have at least 3 to 4 more at some point.
I have 3 more months next year.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
not bad. So you did a straight 6 months, and when you started intern year, and then you did 1 month, 2 months on anesthesia, and now you did trauma for the 2 weeks at the start of March. I guess that's
exactly. So like ever since New Year's. And New Year's was supposed to be like the minute where I start anesthesia, which is like a little bit more laid back, right? Than being on service.
Like vacation.
Yeah, something like that. But the worst call weekend of my life was the New Year's weekend starting on
Oh,
anesthesia. And I remember being the first day on anesthesia and I had bags under my eyes like never before. And I felt like I was really happy to be there and I like wanted to make a good first impression with the people that I was working with. But I like couldn't even I couldn't even stay awake.
oh,
And it was like just because the weekend was brutal leading up to it.
yeah.
It was like New Year's Eve, so I you expect like the whole night to be like, wild, and so I I strategically like hung out with my girlfriend and a co-resident and his girlfriend, and so we like knew that I was on call,
Mm.
so we were right by the hospital, and like
Yeah.
any minute I was ready. I'm sort of just like waiting for the call to happen, and it's like okay, so 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11. I'm like, what's going? I'm like, it's gonna happen, right? Like, and then like New Year's happens, and then it's like 12:06, and then after 12:06, it was like the whole like it was nonstop, and we covered two hospitals. It was like back and forth between the hospitals. It was like constant. So it was.
Oh, yep.
I'm glad I got to have like a nice night, but I was
Couple
very
hours.
nervous about things coming up the whole night, and then of course then it all came in. So, um, yeah, that's just it's funny how you have to like structure your weekends when you're on call and whatnot, and
Right? Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird,
Totally
but you
different.
get used to it, you know.
What are those two hospitals you're covering, and where are you living right now?
So we're New York Presbyterian Queens is the one hospital, and then New
Queens.
York yeah, we cover Queens, and then we're New York Presbyterian Cornell.
You have to go all the way to Queens.
Yeah, yes.
That's horrible. I thought you were just in the Upper East.
No, so we cover call all through the 4 years, and then in third year we are chief of Queens for 6 months. So we are the only one out there on the day to day for 6 months by ourselves. So it's really good experience. It's like a little bit different patient population than Cornell, but like less major. It's like less orthognathics TMJ over there, but it's more
Mm.
trauma and like it's more dental alveolar, like
Okay.
kind of volume wise. Not in complexity, but like more volume over at Queens. And then we do a lot of our like planned outpatient. Like of course there's always trauma, but there's like the orthognathic stuff. Like
Mhm.
that's all at Cornell, and so like all on cases are both at Queens and Cornell.
Oh,
But again, like I haven't started any of that stuff as like I here
we'll
and
get
there,
there.
but like
Yeah.
yeah.
What level trauma centers are both those hospitals?
Both are one.
Jeez, so yeah, you're.
Yeah, I mean Cornell. It's like it's not the most heavy trauma you've ever experienced in your life, and
Mm.
being so close to NYU and some other New York City hospitals, like if for example, like if something happens and it's 3 miles away in Manhattan, 3 miles could mean it's
Yeah.
3 miles in Manhattan is very different from 3 miles in out somewhere else.
Source,
So
yeah, for sure.
they could be going to any other hospital, but when it's bad, and it's like any other spot, and so, but sometimes it's a blessing where nights can be quiet, but then there's Queens. So like Queens is where you'll get your your high speed motor vehicle accidents, and
Yeah.
so that sometimes like totally you just can't account for anything obviously, but Queens is definitely more lots of trauma. So
Mm.
yeah, and
'Cause
then we get
yeah.
we have to like lift between the spots, so we get that covered, which is nice.
Oh, nice. They cover lift
Yeah.
for you.
Yes, they do.
That helps. No, that really helps. That's a really good thing. No, especially because like post call days. What was his name? Omax Face. Like he had to drive home after like a post call day, and he crashed. Like he fell asleep at the wheel.
That's so
So
scary.
so when I hear residents that their hospitals are funding the Lyft, Uber, Lyft, like whatever, but that they're reimbursing residents to get home safely like that, I don't know why it's taking them so long to do this, but it's like, how long is it gonna? What's an Uber to Queens?
It ranges. It could be anywhere from like 30 to 60, depending on the night. But like, it's, I think like what you're saying is like, it's worth it for the hospital. And
Yeah.
like I get like a 20 solid 25-minute nap in both each way if I need it. Like it's definitely doable. And it's like,
Not bad.
depends if the Lyft driver wants to be chatty, but if they don't, I'm like, oh, thank you. Because, you know, at 1:30 in the morning, like,
Yeah.
you'd hope that they're just going to like, let just drive and like, just keep it quiet in the car, but sometimes
Right.
they're very chatty. I've had to say to them like, you entertain the conversation for a few minutes, and then you're like, hey, like, do you mind if I close my eyes a few minutes just before I got to work over at this hospital? And they were very understanding of that. Actually, there was this very nice driver who this same situation happened because I came in the car immediately. He was like, "Hey, welcome to my lift. Let me give you an overview of." I'm like, "No, no, no." He's like, "I'm doing some performance," and I was like, "Oh no, this is not going to be good." But once I told him, "Hey, like, I'm actually going to be working for a few hours here. Like, I'm going to try to get some sleep for a few minutes." I wake up right as I'm getting there, and he pulls out a 5-hour energy for me, and he's like, "I want you to have this." I don't really. I've maybe had it once, but I don't really like it. I just prefer coffee. But
Yeah, yeah,
this the gesture was super nice,
yeah.
and it was like
And then you whipped
he.
up a balloon.
Oh yeah, right. Exactly. That's my form of payment. I gotta capitalize on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great. That's great. Then he did a performance in the Uber. Then you did a performance with the balloons.
Oh yeah.
Little Magic
Oh yeah.
Brandini action.
Yeah.
Actually, how many accounts do you have now? Do you have the doctor, and then do you still have Magic?
So Magic Brandini was like my account that I
Yeah.
used like kind of just through as I worked my business like growing up my whole life. But now that I'm not working parties anymore because of my schedule, I was like I have time to make balloons in my apartment.
Hmm.
So without like losing my talents and whatnot. So because it's weird, it was like balloon twisting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people maybe know who are listening, but balloon twisting was a huge part of my life for so long. And then residency starts, and you just you can't say to someone, "Oh, hey, like I'll work your kid's first birthday party in 3 months from now on this Saturday." Like that's just very hard to do with
Can't do it.
residency.
Yeah.
So basically, I started posting on Dr. Brandini, and so that has it's been a wild ride in the last few weeks
Yeah, man.
because it's been like around 2 months, but it definitely picked up steam way
Exploding.
faster than I. Yeah,
Proud of you, man. Yeah, you gotta
thank
you
you
gotta
so
keep it
much.
going.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. It's a lot of strategic posting and experimenting with things that like allow. It's almost similar to what you do, where you'll have some sort of like piece of content, and then you find ways to maximize like the event or
Hmm.
the clips that you have. And so I try to do the same thing, where it's like my mission right now is to like make balloons for healthcare workers and sort of give back to
Yep.
people at the hospital because like I know how grueling it can be to be a healthcare worker, and like I think it's kind of like a fun, whimsical activity. It serves a lot of purposes all at once, but to surprise someone with a balloon is a lot of fun. But I'll be able to record the request in one video, and then sometimes I'll do the reveal in another video if I know that I can't put a video out for a little bit. So, but I'll get it all in the same. I'll sort of record stuff on the same day, and then I'll space it out,
Yep.
and it's fun. It's like I'm kind of learning how to like to manage the account. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah.
You're killing it. You're doing great. And just to give listeners a background, because you were doing balloons at like kids' birthday parties, and you kept that up through dental school. So kudos to
Yeah.
you for that. We got to point that out. And now in residency, I mean, that's just absolutely impossible. That would not be possible. So now you're finding a way to implement that in, make content. You're also chatting about stuff with residency. You're putting it all into one. And you know what? It's such a good story to follow that everyone wants to follow along with. And then you got brought onto the news channel the other day. Which news channel was it again?
Oh yeah, so well, also to take a step back too, it's like so people ask me like how long does this stuff take you? And so I've been
What
doing
stuff? Wait,
these
wait. The
like the
posting
making
or
the
the balloon?
balloons,
Okay, okay.
making the balloons because I'm not making like dogs and swords. If people haven't seen the stuff that I'm making, it's like life size, like it's like real sculpture art, and it's like I've been doing it for so long that it's second nature to me. So I people are like, "Oh, you must like sketch it out or you must like plan for days." And it's like I mean, a lot of times I'll make it and it's the first draft and it's ready to go. But then sometimes like I'll start like the torso or the shirt or whatever and I'm like, "Yeah, I could do this better." But I'm kind of lucky that I can like see things kind of I could see things far ahead. So
Yeah.
I'll like make something and I'll be like, "This is going to end up good or it's not." And then I'll stop early so that it doesn't take me as much time to like put the balloons together. But yeah, so it takes me like an hour and a half to 2 hours to make the balloon, and then maybe like 30 to 60 minutes for like the other parts of the video.
Hmm.
But I could space that out over a week, so like it's not really incredibly time consuming, which is nice, and it allows for me to like still have free time and still see like my friends and things like that. Or it's not like every waking minute I'm either making a balloon or in residency, but it takes some of the time away, but it's fun. But yeah, so and then about the news. I've had some awesome news coverage, and I'm really thankful for it. Like, so it started with Yahoo News, like, wrote an article, and that was like really cool in the moment. But then, like, immediately, like, right after, People Magazine wrote a piece on me.
Right, that one.
And then, so once the People Magazine came out and they posted on their account about me and what I'm doing, they Fox New York is a local news station.
Okay, yeah.
They had me do a live appearance, and it was really fun to like be on the set
That
and
must
to
have been the
do
one I
that.
saw. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was that. And then after that, this was so far this is the craziest one, that Stephen Colbert, I don't know if you saw this. Stephen Colbert made a joke about me, like, on his show.
I did not see this. What?
So yeah, so he made a joke. He was like, it was like some dumb thing about, oh, there's a New York City surgical resident looking to pay back $400,000 of student debt by making balloons. And he's like, made some joke about turning someone's like intestines into a balloon poodle. But like, that was the joke. And like, he put on some like AI generated photos of like a surgeon and then like a poodle in someone's intestines. But there was no mention of me or like what I'm trying to do. There was no picture of me. There was no mention. So it's like he totally like made a joke about what I'm doing without like giving any credit. And like my whole
Come
thing is like
on.
I'm trying to pay back the loans. Like, how am I going to get there if you're not going to? So I made the
He
next
botched
morning.
it.
Wait, what'd you say?
He botched it. Come on, help you out.
So that's what I'm saying. So I contemplated like how I was going to respond to this, as if it matters, because I was like at that time I had not as many followers and engagement as I do now. But someone commented and they're like, I saw you on Stephen Colbert yesterday. And then I had no idea about it. And then I go in and I see what I was just describing. I see that video. And so the next morning I make Stephen Colbert out of balloons. And I was like, like in my head, I'm like, this is the only way to respond. My friends were like, you should message people on the show and you should like try to do all these things to like get on the show. And so I was like, I'm going to make Stephen Colbert out of balloons. I'm going to explain what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, hey, like, let's make this video go viral because like maybe something will happen. Maybe he'll have me on the show. And then I kid you not, like the next show, it was like, he's like, he just basically, he didn't apologize, but he fully brought it up again and did a 1.5-minute segment on me and like was like, gave me a shout out on the show. And it was like the coolest thing ever. And he like reacted to seeing his face and body and whatnot made out of balloons. And it was very funny. So people should check it out. So that was cool. And then, there's a lot of other fun stuff going on as well.
Yeah, and much more to come. I think you got a long ways to go. I think you just keep tying this in with residency. It's tough to make time for it. I know. You got to keep that going. You got to keep doing it. You just got to keep doing it every chance.
You're an inspiration to me. You made it work through residency, and you're doing it honestly more than ever now. I mean, it's like I feel like I see lots of stuff coming out from your pages, but it's you're sort of like someone that I obviously know on a personal level, but also like they're in my field, and you make it work and you stick to what you like doing, and it's like I'm doing the same thing in my own capacity. So
and you're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep doing. No, it's awesome, man. And you're just starting out. You realize you're not even. You're right here, and you're gonna be. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep going.
I hope so. That would be awesome. I mean, Figs like has reached out, and I'm like a brand partner with them, so that's really fun and exciting. And I plan to do an event with them or two in the coming weeks. And then we'll see what else kind of comes through. I mean, like it'd be really cool. And then a lot of times people are asking like, how much do you charge for the balloons? And so I'm not charging the healthcare workers that I give the balloons to.
Yeah.
The whole point, like, I'd rather have Instagram and TikTok pay me. Like, the whole system should be paying my loans, not like anyone individually. Like, This should be like a group effort, because the more people, all they have to do is comment, like, save, share. That drives up the engagement. That helps with the algorithm. It pushes my videos. That stuff helps me more than anything else right now. I also like people have like come to me and ask for, sort of partnerships with brands and that I don't necessarily know much about, and but I think my strategy right now is to just grow the account and like let people know of my mission before like really jumping into anything. Like,
yes,
ultimately my loans will get paid back, but this is like a fun activity that allows me to keep up with my talents and like do it during residency. So we'll just see where this goes, right? And like eventually it'd be great to have some brand deals and stuff. You know, if Geico comes to me, they're like, I want a gecko balloon, like that'd be great. But like right now, I have like some random companies coming to me, hey, we make water bottles that like I don't like it could be just something very random, and then I'm like, I'm just not going to entertain this right now.
Yeah.
It's just really not worth it. So I'd rather just like keep doing what I'm doing, and then if something really good comes up, like then I'll jump on that. So
Absolutely. That if there's one word of advice, just wait. Just wait on all that. Keep making content. Keep focused on making better content, engaging with the community, building your own brand. Just everything you're doing, and just more of it. It's that simple. Just more of that. All
yeah,
the brands that come to you, just wait it out. Figs is cute. That's great. They're not going to pay for stuff from what. But the event, that'll be nice if they could do something.
yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So, but I that was something that was important to me, and like I considered some other options in that field, in that like lane, I guess you could say. I just thought like I personally had a lot of figs, and I like figs, and there's also a fig store that opened up near me. So yeah,
Perfect
they
timing.
actually yeah. So it's there's something we're planning with that. If I knew more details, I would definitely share, but I don't want to like talk too much about it right now. But yeah, so lots of fun stuff. I actually was going to ask you. I mean, like, so now this is like it's almost like in my personal life. Like this has now become like very like a big part of like I walk around the hospital, everybody knows me. And it's very cool and it's very fun
Yeah.
and it's like brings a lot of smiles, which is cool. But I was wondering like how have you adjusted I mean, your content and pages are a big chunk of your life as well now too. It's like was that an adjustment for you or is that something that it just you grew with or how do you see it now?
It's I mean it is what it is. You grow with it. Just it's not gonna change you. Don't let it. Like it's you're still Brandon. You know what I mean? Or to
Yeah.
me, you're Axe.
Yeah.
But like it's no different. I would say just you gotta be careful because and I texted you about this. You have to look out for the people in the hospital that don't have your best interest in mind.
Hmm.
That's it. And it sounds like everything's going well right now. You just wanted to keep going well. And you said you're only a couple months in, right? So as this becomes, who knows? It could be 6 months, it could be a year and a half. There will be some time in your 4 years where that someone finds a way to kind of say, oh, yeah, they're going to find a mistake that you made because mistakes happen when you're like 30 hours without sleep, whatever it is. But then they want to capitalize that to make themselves look better. And all I'm saying is, and
Yeah.
you don't make many mistakes. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like mistakes are inevitable in residency. And it's also inevitable that a lot of these people in the system where it's like you competing against other people with test scores and residency spots and this, it's inevitable that other people don't have your best interest in mind because they want to see themselves succeed. And they think that Gary Vaynerchuk calls it like, you don't have to tear someone else's building down for you to have the highest building in town. You just need to focus on building the higher building. Or like I like to say, you don't need to put someone else's candlelight out to make yours shine brighter. You just need to focus on your own light. And you do that. But people around you in these hospitals, unfortunately, sometimes aren't like that. And I think
Yeah.
because now everyone knows you in the hospital. I would say kind of like yeah, and they are with your content. If you could do like a day where you go to like the children's wing of the hospital or something or something like that, and you were like to bring them balloons. And in one way, it's like a content idea, but it's also super heartwarming. I mean, we had kids in Bellevue that literally I had a kid whose parents dropped him off at the hospital and left and never came back. And it was on my medicine rotation, and I was taking care of this kid for a month, and with like another resident, right? And so we put together we all got some cash together, got him AirPods for Christmas and stuff. This kid was so
Wow.
depressed. I mean, how do you know what I mean? Like stuff
Yeah.
like that. Now imagine if that kid came by and you took a photo with him with a balloon that you made for him, and it was like he used to like some kind of I forget what action figure was. It was like Superman or Batman or something. So I like printed out something where he could read it, whatever it was. And imagine if you came to him on Christmas Day and you had the balloon of his favorite action figure like Batman. That would
Yeah.
literally make his day. And then you don't make it into like this is not a PR stunt, but this is the stuff that you're using to do with this gift, this ability, this you're a surgical resident. You're in the situation where you're taking care of people that are sometimes maybe at the lowest point of their lives, right? But then you can
Yeah.
just with this talent, this skill, this other ability, you can bring more brightness to their day. And then when someone goes to try and like stab you in the back corner, like to in the back to get you in the back, how can someone possibly stab someone in the back that's doing that day to day? So I'm just trying to. This doesn't have to be it. I'm trying to get you to think ahead,
Right.
where whenever someone does see you in the hospital, it's a heartwarming
That's my goal, right? Like, and what I've already
You know,
said about like just spread, like it's spreading positivity.
it is.
It allows, it's sort of advocating for like residents to keep up with their hobbies. Like, even though you start residency, doesn't mean you have to become a robot to residency. Like, there, you should keep up with the things that were important to you, in some capacity. And like, I don't know, like I would love to, like of course, like my whole life, yeah, working fundraisers was like always the most like heartwarming stuff for me when I would work, like, you know, I would donate my time, and because of course I did paid events like all the time, but then
Right.
when there'd be a really good cause that I felt strongly about, I would do a fundraiser. And so the issue is now is that like I don't know what the latex in the hospital rules are, and so there could always be patients with latex allergies around, and so
Mm,
that's why I've not like explored that yet. And I know that things are increasingly latex free, and my balloons are all latex, and there's no way around that because I need this certain quality to like make the shapes that I do. But
right. Right.
that's one struggle. But I think there's, when the weather is nicer, I think there's some things that I can do like outside the hospital and near the hospital that I can be doing more like impromptu performances of sorts. And so that's like some things I'm thinking about. But
Great.
yeah, people do comment. They're like, what about the latex? You can't bring. And I a lot. My videos are strategically not in the. My videos are do not take place in the hospital.
That's
They
important.
they take place outside the hospital with people who just happen to work at the hospital, and you know I catch them as they're leaving, you know, for the day. But and then I give them the balloon.
They're walking out
What?
of the hospital like, God damn it, this guy again with the
Yeah,
balloons. I'm trying
I
to go
know, I
home.
know.
Yeah.
No, everyone that I've approached has been very receptive towards it. Usually, I mean, now we're starting to go into like approaching people that I've not really like spoken to or known before. But this, like, you know, my first few videos were like with some co-residents and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you have to. I mean, it's very hard to approach someone on the street and be like, "Do you want a balloon animal?" And it's like it's kind of a weird question. But what's it? Yeah, but
Have a reaction. Yeah.
another thing I was gonna say though is that I made the pirate balloon, which was one of the first ones that I did, and it was one of those life size ones. It was really cool, and I didn't really know what to do with it, so I left it in the lobby of my building, and my building is, it's like 35 floors, and from floor like 10 to 35 it's pretty much residents and nurses and anyone who works at the hospital. It's all like employee housing almost. And then floors like 2 through 9, 10 or whatever are for patient families. So if
Oh,
you're there for whatever reason, you have a relative that's in the hospital for a long period of time, like it allows you to have like more of a like a homey feel, right? So I left the balloon in the lobby, and I went out for the night, and then I came back and the balloon wasn't there. And so in my head I was like, cynically I was like, oh, they threw it out, like they didn't want it there or whatever. Or I was like, someone took it, and it was like, that's fine, and it's like that was what it was there for. But I kind of wish I like knew who took it, or like
yeah.
knew if someone, so it was either in the garbage or someone had it, and I just had no way of knowing, and I just didn't really think about it whatsoever. And like a week or two later, I see someone's comment that was like the nicest. It was like, oh my God, like this balloon made it to my son who had like this major procedure. Like, and it was just basically like, I can't believe I found your account, because like basically like my wife saw it and we took it up to our room, and then we eventually brought it to him in the hospital, and it was like it made his whole day. And there's a picture, I didn't share the picture because of like HIPAA stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Hip,
it
yeah.
was like a picture of him with the balloon, and it was like, this was the most heartwarming thing, because like I in my head thought the balloon that I spent like 3 hours on was in the garbage, but in reality it made it to this kid's hospital room, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, this is what I do this for.
Yeah.
So really cool stuff.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And naturally, just from my experiences with getting stabbed in the back during residency from chief residents and people above me, that's why I keep thinking of a million ways to try and make sure you're protected, not anything else. I mean, you know that, but
No,
yeah,
I appreciate that. I mean, I'm just trying to just st- do my thing, and if it's working, just
right,
do keep doing that and avoid controversy, I guess you could say.
exactly. Avoiding the HIPAA, making sure like you're very careful what content's made in the hospital on their property versus what's not. Did you hear about the guy at the Mayo Clinic?
Oh yeah, we should talk about that. Oh man, this guy. Do you want to fill people in if they haven't?
I only learned about this like Wednesday last week, and yeah, I'll fill people. I mean, as much as I know is he was in his fourth year. He was an MS4, so fourth year, and it was like the day before match day, if I remember correctly, and he was making he had like 200 something thousand followers on, I guess, Instagram. He was on multiple platforms, and
And his content did like very well. Like even with 200,000, he was getting like millions per video. And he was the face of like medical TikTok, medical Instagram.
yeah,
Like he was top dog almost. Like if you want to put it a pecking order to it. But yes, continue.
right. But the content produced a lot of reactions, and not the ones I saw, none of them looked good to me. I would never make content like that.
No, right. So so my understanding is he prior to this, for years prior, his content was funny but didn't cross a line, and then
Mm,
more recently started crossing lines. And it was like what was being tolerated was like increasingly less over time as he sort of like transitioned
right, right.
to like content that like was less like haha funny and more like you're only laughing if you're
Cringe.
like if it's like it's just it wasn't didn't have good intentions, and then it got worse and worse,
It turned.
and then
Wow.
it ultimately like came down to him posting stuff about like inserting like Foley catheters, and then like it just he
That's
took
the
it
one that
to
I
a
saw.
different spot. So it was, and then his account got like he got so much pushback that I think he took his account down, but it was like he ultimately got removed from his like med school. And
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
so very, very, like, I mean, not none of it is you. It's very wrong what he was doing, but it just, yeah, you got to be careful. You like
You'd be making videos like
you
that.
have an obligation as like a healthcare worker to post
Yeah.
content that's like the right sort of content, and like that was just not appropriate on so many
Not at
levels.
all.
So
Not at all. Vulgar, offensive, inappropriate. Now, my one question is trying to not, and I'm not, so to play like devil's advocate, I'm curious how many warnings he had, how many reprimand, like how many times was he reprimanded? Was he not at all? Like we have no, it's none of our business in essence. I just think ahead for, God forbid there's another student. There's so many people out there in the country making content. You make content, I make content. You know, whether it's balloons, like lightening someone's day. I was trying to like mentor and give insight to like the residency experience, yada yada. The fact of the matter is like, you know, you're getting real time mentorship from people. And I saw two videos from this guy. I didn't like either of them. They were very inappropriate in my eyes, but he must have had thousands of videos, just like most of us do at some point, right? And I'm just assuming that some of them showed like some insight to the medical school experience, right? It's real time mentorship. And I don't know, I saw some videos talking about this where they're like shooting it down. They're like, oh, if you're a doctor, you're a medical student, you shouldn't be on social media, you should not making posts and stuff. And I completely disagree with that. I think people should be making content and talking about the experience, what their life is like, what they do day to day, what are their hours like, how many hours of sleep they get, what are they cooking to get by. You know, it helps other people relate
yeah,
and learn.
I mean,
You know,
there's a reason why like the Pit is so popular, or like Scrubs the show, or
yeah,
like people are clearly interested, right? Like
right,
it's very interesting to people who are not in the medical and dental world, and then for people who are, it's like there's no published information about what it's like to be a resident or a dental student or whatever.
right,
And so we are like in the forefront of that, and it's like we have it's like I think it's very important to be on social media as a provider, especially in this day and age. And I felt the most validated by this when one of my attendings, who is very well known, a very like kind of just like traditionally trained and like practices, and when he said that he was in what like in full support of social media and even does social media himself, like that was my that's I think the tides are turning, and I think people are starting to know
yeah,
that this it is important to be on social media. Like, you know, in addition to doing all the things that good doctors do,
mm,
like engaging with research and like, you know, talk like going to journal club, like there's like things that you do on the side that like are important to like keep up your practice and whatnot. But there's also, you have to now add in this other piece of social media, because patients need to know. I think it's important for patients to see you on a human, like a humanistic level,
yeah,
like to know that you're a little bit more, and you're gonna like they can trust you if they see how you are on social media in a casual way. Like they'll start to know what type of person you are
Yep.
and the sort of things you stand for. Like ultimately, I think you and I both want to use our social medias to just build a practice, but also like show people who we are a little bit, and
Yeah.
so it's important.
Add some personality to the profession. That's exactly it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Create a blend that people will either align with or they won't. And guess what? That's a step ahead. So when they go into the appointment or not go into the appointment, they can pick another provider. It helps them find someone that they're comfortable with. There's a number of ways. I think social media platforms are networks too. They help connect you with all. And yeah, I mean, there's so much good. It's just unfortunate that the direction that his content turned, and then this happened. I'm curious that the school and like I said, the reprimanding, and I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but I think social media is good. Like we said, you got to be professional and mature, and think of a unique flair to it, like you're bringing with your whole experience and talents with the balloons, right?
yeah.
It touches people differently rather than making a vulgar thing about
Yeah,
folio.
I mean, I would like that was my dream has always been like to incorporate the balloons into my practice when it's appropriate and timely. And of course, like this is a fun side project. Like this is like I'm here to like train and like be a good oral surgeon and whatnot. But I think like my goal is to like incorporate it. And if a patient is really apprehensive or it's like a pediatric patient,
Yeah,
having this in my back pocket, I think is important. So that's something that I'm like looking forward to in the future. But I was going to ask you, have you had patients so far that have seen your content and like kind of sought you out in a way?
probably like once every week, once every other week, probably
Oh
once every other
wow.
week. I would say someone says oh, I just saw you when I was looking up dry sockets, or um, sometimes just walking into. I was at Lij last week, and someone was there that recognized. Yeah, I had a guy. This is back. This is 2 years ago. I had to get a like a blood test for tuberculosis to see if I was exposed to something. This was at the VA. It was a whole ordeal. Everything's fine, but I had to go in and get blood drawn, and so I put my arm out, and I was just chatting with the guy because I hate needles. I hate we give needles all day long, right? But then the one day at a time I got to get a needle. I'm like trying to calm myself down, slow down my breaths, and I'm chatting with the
Yeah,
guy.
you got to play tough guy because you do it all day to people.
Right, we got to play tough guy. So then he goes to draw my blood, and he's like he like sticks me twice, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, hey, I'm sorry, Dr. Gallagher, I'm sorry. I was like, what? How do you know who I am? And he's like, I'm just so nervous right now. I'm so sorry. I gotta get another needle. I missed. I
Oh
was
wow,
like, what the? Oh, it's funny
wow,
stuff.
you have that effect on people now. You're a big
No, no,
celebrity.
no, not at all. But dude, you're doing such great things. How's everything going? Congratulations, bud. Did you get engaged or was that not?
No, not engaged,
Okay.
but we're on a good path. So things
No,
things will
she
get there.
got into what was it?
Yeah, she matched into ophthalmology. So
Ophthalmology. That's what. Congratulations to her. I thought I saw you guys celebrating. That's what it was.
yeah. She's over the moon, and so we're very glad that we're gonna be able to stay close. Like we're gonna be able to keep living together. She's
Yeah.
gonna be in the city as well, so it'll be awesome. I mean, with the match, you just don't know what's gonna happen. So you're only in control of so much. So that's really exciting. And then it'd be cool. Her and I have talked about like opening a joint practice, like in a way, right? Like that'd be fun. And so she's ophthalmology, and I'm OMFS, and our practice name is presumably. You ready? I'm revealing this for the first time.
Oh,
Sights and bites. What do you think?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you like that? Good.
That's so cute. Sights and bites. That's
There
great.
you go. Yeah. So that'll be. I mean, who knows? But it's fun that we both can complete our training, be close by, and whatnot. And then I'll have like a year to figure out what I want to do prior to her finishing. So
Right.
open to a lot of different things.
There's so much going on. And then what about the rest of residency training? Do you know if you got? Is she from New York too? Long Island.
Yeah.
Great.
She
Great.
went to Stony Brook Med School.
Is that where you guys met?
Yeah, we met on Hinge.
Hey, yeah. Everyone's hinged now.
Yeah, but we maybe would have like run into each other at some point, but I don't think realistically like people don't go up to anyone anymore in real life. Like
You can't.
when I was single before, my parents were like, just go up to someone. I'm like, people don't do that anymore. But but yeah, that's where we met.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. So you guys think
Yeah,
you might end up back on Long Island afterwards?
yeah, we'll see. Honestly, just gonna go with I our family's there, so things seem pretty likely that we'll be in the tri-state area at
Yeah.
least. So, but yeah, and you're getting married soon, right?
Next January. Yeah, man.
Wow, that's
It's
crazy.
2026 is a big year. There's still a lot ahead. There's still a lot ahead. So
Good,
we will see.
good things, right? Good things, right?
I hope they're good things. You never know. You never know these days. It's like residency. It's one day at a time. There's just so many moving pieces. Like, got the house now. Dad's got to complete moving out. Luce needs to move in and then get settled down there. And then the summer comes. You know how it goes. It's one thing after another. But
Do you do you like being out and done with residency? Like, what's it feel like?
yeah, it's great to be done with residency. Residency's awful. The one thing I would say is when you finally get out, you have a great couple months, but then you're back to the grindstone with board studying. So, but I'll be able to help you with that stuff. I mean, you do fine with the
Yeah,
studying. I think one of the things was like figuring out how in your schedule. It's kind of like it's actually a similar situation of adding on CBSE studying on top of your already full dental school schedule. It was kind of like that. I figured out my best thing. I was like, I try after the gym, go to Panera Bread like I did. I just figured out as soon as I finish work, finish the notes, call the patients, and I just stay at the desk until like 10 o'clock at night. So I would get like 3 to 5 hours of studying at my desk. But now it's depressing because I was at the desk since what 8, 9 a.m. in the morning. And but look, you need to find things like that as you're getting started in practice. To get in a
yeah.
routine like that and to eliminate distractions. Some people have kids when they go home, then you can't go home right away. You got to get that peace and quiet to study.
Yeah. Do you feel like where do you stand on like how much you've learned? Do you feel like you've learned more as a now full time, like on your own? Or do you think residency was where you learned the majority? Or where do you like, because it's hard to know how ready you'll be when you're out of residency.
I was I was ready to go for the most part. It's just kind of learning little tweaks in patient communication and kind of like your flow with patient care between the consult and this surgery and then that phone call you need to make and then getting meds in, getting the notes in. It's just like a flow, but then there's something bigger than that where there's also communication and team leadership with your assistants. You want them to like you. You want to show them that you care about them and support them. Hopefully, I would hope so. I do, and I try and make sure that they know that. There's Google reviews. There's good Google reviews. And there's bad Google reviews. You want to try and maximize good ones, and
Of course.
it's a lot going on, man, in the real life of practicing that. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I know you, but yeah, it's just getting through residency. That's all it is.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do another episode on your takeaways from like being practicing for like a year or something like that.
Sure.
Just to
Yeah.
just to be, because now I need motivation for getting through this. It feels like it's like you're always ahead. So I need you keep me going. So I got to look on the bright side of things sometimes.
I think the biggest thing is what I told you. You got to keep making content, man. Obviously, you're going to do all your tasks and responsibilities as a resident, and you're going to thrive there. I know that. I think it's continue the content and turning it, keeping it on like that positive and optimistic journey. It's the one thing I would say be careful about is like kind of like the help me pay back my loans. It's exactly what you said. Like it's like a comment, a save, whatever it is. But I think someone could kind of twist that and be like, you know what I mean? Someone out there, some
Oh yeah,
dirty,
yeah. No,
dark person.
people have that's some negativity I've gotten in the comments.
Oh, someone has.
No, people have commented like, "Oh, you're gonna be fine. Like, why do you need this?" And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
well, but like not anything more than that. Like I know what I'm. It's like I said, like I didn't say this, but I'm never gonna make a GoFundMe. I'm never gonna ask for donations. I'm never. It's like, so that's because I get paid as a resident. I'm trying to do this, actually pay off my loans as fast as possible so that I can actually start my own practice sooner and then like
Yeah.
make good financial decisions. Like I'm actively paying my loans as a resident. Like I know that some people would argue that that's not the best idea, but I think that I'm I'm happy to do it, and I feel like I don't know, I'm chipping away at something that's looming, and so like it's just part of my nature, like want to think about it and be active about it. So
Mm.
this balloon thing is helping, right, to some extent. I haven't made as much as people think. I feel like they think I've like paid off my loans already, but like you have to have 10,000 followers on TikTok prior to monetizing. Now it's like the algorithms are all messed up because like TikTok was now bought out, and so like they didn't have any idea what was going on. So like I have a video with like 300,000 views on TikTok, and I made like $25. Like if it, at that rate, it's like my loans are never going to be paid off. So you know, it's I'm doing it for fun. I'm shedding light on the fact that like, yeah, I'm in 400K of debt, but I'm just going to keep making balloons, see what happens. So keep it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bringing so much. There's so much attention going to the page, and that's another thing. Like that Top Wineries account that I had, there was a couple videos in a row that got more than 1 million, and
Yeah.
it amounted to like $2.50. It was crazy. So, but here's the thing: this would make a great video for you, where it's like, by the way, guys, when I say paying back my loans, I'm not asking for a donation. It's literally everything you just told me. You're not asking for donations. You're not making a GoFundMe, and you're not charging people. Just be like, I'm literally just looking for a like, a save, a comment here or there, because I'm not trying to make it from you. I'm trying to make it off the platforms. If you just say that, that's another. It's about like
Yeah.
people will.
I'm making a loan update video too, and these balloons, man, they're expensive. I actually am adding. No, I'm not adding to my debt, but I've made like 2,000 so far. So it's like that's pretty good for 2 months, right? Like it's 2,000 more than I had before. So
That's
I'm like, okay,
good. Yeah,
this is pretty good. But like I said before, like I think there's opportunities to make more money, but they're not really worth it right now. So it's like I'm kind of just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
just get in the pace. You're not even 1 year in yet. Just keep it going. Get on a nice routine, so maybe you could get up another video or two a week, kind of thing. I just want you thinking about that the whole time, where it's not conflicting with anything you're doing. Don't get caught up in brands, and just keep more and more and more.
Yeah. Another thing too is like this. It's all for fun. Like the videos don't need to be perfect. Like the balloon takes me long enough. Like I've gotten much better at like, you know what, just post it. Like whatever.
Exactly.
If it doesn't do that well, like it's fine. And then I actually find that the videos that I spend less time on somehow do better, as if the people know that it's like they're more interested in like in the
less edited, raw.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's helpful in that regard, because I know that I can get a video out and not put hours and hours and hours. I could just put a few hours, and then it's okay. Everything's fine.
Right. Or just chatting about it a little bit. Let them know how much a balloon costs. People want to know that stuff.
Oh, I'm doing a big update soon. So
okay,
it's going to be, all this stuff's going to be there. I'm excited.
Good. Post it. You make it into, just keep going. Keep going. So what's next on the plate? What do you got this week?
This week I go back on service. So
for how long?
Till through June, and then July again I start Gen Surge again.
Okay.
But then in terms of balloon content, we have I just posted a mermaid for my girlfriend, actually. Her debut. And then I have
I like that one.
Her and then I made this week I'm also, for an orthopedic surgery resident, we're doing a skeleton. It should be pretty good.
That's a good one.
And then we'll see what else. I have like someone in the hospital wants a genie in a bottle, and I think they think it's going to be like this big, but I actually have a plan to like literally make it this like 10 feet tall. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool.
That is going to be awesome.
Those are the next 3 in the lineup there.
I'm looking forward to these. And when do you usually make these? Are these like on the weekend? Is it after work when you're not on call?
So during the week, not on call, I can like do 30 minutes at a time. Sometimes that's all I got. But then if there's a clear weekend, if I have 2 hours on a weekend, easy. I can do it, record it. And then, of course, there's, like I was saying before, like when I know that I'm not going to have time for a while, I'll try to spread the video out a little bit. So I'll like get the reaction in another clip, and then it makes it as if I posted twice or more frequently. And yeah, I think a lot of it too is like staying up to date with things. Like I did a Bad Bunny balloon for the Super Bowl. That did really well. And like, then you have to like, I think I'm going to have to, there's some like things I'm thinking about, like how to go beyond like some of these stock things, like mermaid, like, oh, a pirate, like, yeah, really cool. But like the next time Taylor Swift is going on tour, you better know that I'm going to have a crazy Taylor Swift balloon. And like you have to play on some of those things and be up to date. Or like, I did a leprechaun for March for St. Patrick's Day. The video did great. If I posted that in August, it wouldn't do so well. So you have to be like Easter, I'll do like a really big
Yeah.
bunny or something like that. And yeah, like I have like this big document with like all the ideas that I have. My friend from college is has lots of experience with this, so he's effectively serving as like my manager at this point in time. So
Nice.
he's like super motivated. He like wants to quit his job and do this instead. So I mean, I'm never gonna tell him to do it, but if he did do it, I'm sure, like he's having fun. He loves this stuff, so he's been super helpful to me, and so I'm lucky to have him. His name's Brian, so good guy.
Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, shout out to Brian, my manager right here.
How many times a week are you on call? Well, going back on service now, like to give people a perspective, you know what I mean? And I know we got to get going soon, but like to give people a perspective, first year resident, now you have 2 months left, April, May, June, 3 months left. You just did 3 months. So you did 6 months, the first 6 months as an intern. Then you did 3 months off service. And now you're going back on service and you got 3 months left of the year. What's your call schedule looking like as a first year? How many times a week? How many times a month?
So for call, we have a heavy call. We have 7 to 10 days a month of call, and we're like second call, but it's not really second call because our GPRs take first call, but anytime it's beyond. So it's nice that we don't come in for tooth pain, but if it's anything more than tooth pain, the GPR, like it sort of just there's just like an unspoken thing, like it's OMFS, like we're going instead, even though we're second call. And then of course we have like a third call, which is a senior, and then attending. But so that's like the call situation. And then we'll work like a full weekend, and then that way, like once you work your 1 or 2 weekends a month, then you have the other ones off. And so that's nice. So it's not like your weekend split up, like you're working Saturday but not Sunday. So you actually feel like you have a full weekend when you're off, which is good. But that downside is that like if you work a full weekend and then it's like back-to-back weeks, it's like you were just working for all those days straight. And then first year, it's like now I think we're approaching like some of the, like they're going to let us do a little bit more in the OR. You know, it's slowly like you're creeping into it. Or it's like, okay, I started closing like a few months ago with like things that were straightforward, or like, you know, certain attendings would like let you close faster than other ones. But now I think we're going to get into a nice spot where it's like, I'll cut like a Lefort, I think in the next few weeks, and like then like get some more, hopefully 1 or 2 or even more like in the next few weeks, which would be nice. And then I think OR experience, we get a lot of good OR experience, so it's great in that regard. And like we were talking about, like you just ramp up and you do more and more through the years. But I'm just excited for summer. Like it's been a brutal winter. I have a tunnel that I can get to work through, so I don't have to leave. I don't have to leave ever. I don't have to go outside ever to get to work. So there have been days that I'm like, I didn't go outside for like days. So
for a week.
I didn't go outside since June. But so the weather should be good. I think the trauma will uptick. But
so careful what you wish for, Axe. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like a degree over 60. People are just throwing fists at the air. Like it's crazy. The trauma.
It's like infections. Like infections are winter, and then summer is trauma.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly it.
Winter is like they've had this toothache for 3 years, and it's like now they're sitting inside and they have nothing else to do besides come to the emergency room at 2 a.m. I'm like, we could have done this at like 8 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Always. It's always a Friday night, like right before you're going to go home. It's 7 p.m. and then all of a sudden you got to go to the ED, or it's right before work on Monday. So it'll be like 2 a.m. Sunday night. Well, technically Monday morning at that point. Yeah, and they don't want to go into work.
It's crazy, but. Yeah, man, that's like what's coming up. You know, you never know what you're gonna get. So some days are awesome. Some days are like surprisingly so awesome.
Yeah.
And then some days are just, you know, mundane or whatever. But you gotta have your mix.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Anything big coming up for you though? Like through work, or I mean, like obviously the boards was a big thing.
Yeah, just waiting on getting the privileges so I can let them know, and then I'll find out if I passed or not. I'm really not concerned. I want to know, and then just smooth sailing after that. Just smooth sailing the rest of the year, and we'll see what that entails. But I think for me, my intern year, the bad month was March. That was like the first warm month. March right now this year's kind of, it's freezing out there today. It was in the 40s.
I know.
So now you're going back on service. I'm just letting you know, I have a feeling it's this month for you. I think it's going to be April. So Just hang in there,
And
you
I'm
know.
kind of glad that I'm coming off of Gen Surge and not anesthesia. The transition from anesthesia to Gen Surge, oh man,
Bad.
that was not something I was ready for. You know, I knew in my head it was going to be rough, but it was like, oh, okay, we're back. It's like immediately, like the
Good
first day.
morning.
Yeah, you're like taking sign out from someone, and it's like a list of 25 patients. That was like a low. That was a low number,
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
low.
like, whoa, anesthesia wasn't like this. But yeah, so but I honestly now I have it under my I have it down. I've now experienced some stressful situations and like in different capacities, and
Mm.
now I think our on service might be I might feel it'll be okay. Everything's okay. But it's so funny. I knew nothing as like a day one intern, but now I know like this much more. So I'm like riding on that,
A
like
little
yeah,
bit.
no problem. I pull up and there are moments though that I like, surprise myself that like I'm like okay, like I really did learn. Like I for a jaw reduction, like a dislocated jaw,
Yeah.
which are fun when they go well, but like when it's hard, I'm sure you can attest it's like kind of stressful situation, especially if they're sedated and you're fighting the clock. I was called in because everybody like all the attendings in the ED tried reducing this jaw, and then they called me saying like hey like can you come in, and then I asked the story and they're like yeah like no one was able to get it, and I'm like oh my god like why did I didn't say this, but I'm like why didn't you just I feel like I have a good number of reps here with this. It's like I feel like they would have consulted us to begin with,
Mm.
and then it's like I walk in and it's like the whole ED is like staring at me and like
Oh,
watching me do this, but I get it. It was like the coolest moment of my life. I got it on the first try,
no way.
and then I like, and it's like you just know it's okay. Then you're gonna take like the ace bandage, and you're gonna wrap, and then you're gonna like, and it's like that. It felt like I was like, this is awesome. I'm the guy. Like I was like this,
And then you whip
but
out a balloon. You're like,
yeah. Like, but
the worst with those jaw dislocations, because I thought you were going to say this, because I've had this too, where it's like 3 ED docs tried to reduce it, and they're like, yeah, look, we're sorry. We all tried like 5 times each. We need your help. And then you go in and you look at them, you're like, all right, I got this. But then it's like their whole family sitting in the corner of the room in the ED, and now there's like PAs, nurses, and everyone looking over you. And then you go and do it, and now you're like sitting there, you're like, oh, I got this. And then you go and do it, and oh shoot, any minute
yeah,
now.
no, it's not easy.
Making
It's
eye
not easy.
contact with the whole family over there, like, no, 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 give me a second, and you're just embarrassing yourself. There's like, all right, give her some more Versed,
No, there was one recently that I was humbled. I was definitely humbled. But you tell me if you have a different strategy. But I've been told to take gauze to rest it on the mandibular plane bilaterally, and then if you need to do one side at a time, it's way better to do one side at a time if it's necessary.
Yep.
And then and then
Do you stand in front of them though, or do you go behind them and tilt their chair back?
I've tried both. What works better for you?
I like to stand behind. I like to get up on like the back of the bed or whatever, and then put them back to who knows 60 degrees, 40, whatever. But then you push down on the mid. I push down from behind, and it pops right in.
Yeah. It's all and the patient how they tolerate it obviously plays a huge role. Like the
Yes.
people who they're like, yeah, this is happening all the time. Like then it's like okay, like they're gonna handle it fine. But
Yeah.
then it's the people who are and understandably so, and it's like very traumatic. It's like you can't close your teeth together, but you kind of have an idea of what it'll be like. I think start,
Oh yeah.
but sometimes the chronic dislocators are harder sometimes. But
Sometimes, yeah. Depends on if it's really anteriorly displaced. Then I mean, you're just trying to get it all over the eminence in it. But could be an eminectomy, right? We're gonna know.
yeah,
Doc, I think
could
we got
be.
a case for Monday.
Maybe, maybe. What sort of so with the hospital privileges, what are you looking to do with the like? What's your plan?
Well, we got to see. I don't have any cases like to go to the hospital. I haven't. And it's like the demographic I'm treating is different too. The referral basis that I'm getting is different. But I mean, if to keep the hospital privileges, they're going to want to take me to take call, and they're not going to pay us to take a call. So after a full week's worth, and then I don't know. I got to see how you. It's $300 for the application to go in, and then you get privileges. But then they want to take call like a month or I forget what it is. But yeah, I don't know. If I
Yeah,
was to
you'll
take a
see.
case to the hospital, it's just doing a case in the hospital for free. I don't know. I'd rather kind of like see my fiance on the weekend kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe there'll be something that comes up that'll really excite you, like an elective thing that you can take to the OR.
Then you know how like at your hospital, as you learn through this year, there's so many little like knacks and like politics that you learn through the year and then years as you go. So like they're scrubbing into the OR and stuff, but where's the OR? And then this is all stuff that you could figure out, but like, so am I just allowed to walk in and show my badge? I'm Dr. So and so, and like, all right, we're doing a Fort now. No, you got to like talk with the patient who's placing the IV. There's so much behind the scene work, and I feel
I
like
know. You've you start to realize, and then you need the right instruments pulled. You need so if and then sometimes like you're wheeling the patient back. Like I've seen attendings who
yep,
are new like wheel the patient back themselves because like either they don't know the system or that no one's going to support them in the system, and it's like
yeah. Oh, literally, that's a big point. Or in at the my last couple months at Bellevue, there weren't instruments that we needed for the Lafort. It was like there was like a J spreader missing, the J hook, and then the inferior border one,
for your border retractor.
the J stripper, and then the coronoid stripper too. Like one of those instruments, it was missing for multiple cases, and it's like we need this now. We're dicking around trying to use a different instrument that's not for this, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like we needed one instrument for it. The channel retractor was gone, and it's like so. Look, I don't enjoy doing cases in the hospital, and if I was to, it's like things got to be fluid, things got to be routine. This is an orthognathic surgery. I want things to be you're the same way. You want it to be routine. You want to be like in the middle, and you're about to drop the maxilla. You're letting the anesthesia know, and then all of a sudden you don't have the instrument that you're looking for, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Like you should be worrying about the surgery and not like the things that like should have already
100%.
been figured out.
And
Yeah.
I got so sick and tired of doing that with the hospitals. And every hospital we went to, there was something like that. It was like the nurse would bump your whole case because she runs the OR. And it's like, I get it, we're bowing down to you and everything, but you can't just bump me another 3 hours just because you don't like my attending right now. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
hard. Well, it's hard if you also have a private practice OR split, and it's like expect to be at one place at one time, and then it messes up your schedule for the whole day to follow if
you
things
can't do
don't
it.
go.
And you just
Yeah,
can't
it's
do it.
very hard.
And now you're already taking off a whole day to do that in a hospital that the hospital's not going to pay you. I mean, we were looking at it, and some of these Medicaid jaws, they're paying like $800 a jaw. That's less than an implant. An implant takes 15 minutes, maybe even quicker. A dental implant, guys, everyone listening, a dental implant versus a whole maxilla repositioning, custom, the whole thing that could be sure maybe you could get that down to 45 minutes, but you're not pumping out like you're not doing like more than three cases in a day for $800 a jaw. What's going on here? So that's
Yeah.
my little spiel. We have
No.
enough
Yeah.
headaches in residency. I'm not going out of my way to get more headaches right now. I want to do cases in the hospital, but I'm not trying to get kicked in the pants every Thursday, like once a month that I go.
Yeah. Getting kicked in the pants is bad.
Anyway, we got to
Yeah.
get you in the OR more, and you're going to, dude. I'm excited for you. You got this year. You're finishing up now. I mean, there's just so much exciting and energy coming from your end of everything. You got to keep posting on it. Keep telling the stories you go. It doesn't always all have to be a balloon video, but just keep showing your personality. Keep showing the vibes. Keep giving an idea of people with the experience of being a surgery resident during
Yeah.
residency. It's finite time, man. These 4 years, they're not going to go by like that. All right, I'm not going to be like one of those guys like, oh, you're gonna,
Yeah.
no. But like record every single day. That's a moment for you to like talk about just some little thing that happened that day, and it might change someone else's perspective, whatever. And that's important. I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. No, it's important. I got to keep posting. I love it. I really do. So I'm gonna
And you're
keep
killing
at
it, man. You're killing it. You're a prodigy.
Thank you. I'm trying.
All right, dude. We got to get together too, man. We got to
I'd
catch
love
up over
to.
a beer or something.
Yeah, I passed the Gem Saloon yesterday, and I thought of you.
Did you really? You saw the gem?
Yeah, I was walking by. Yeah.
Nothing like a couple of pints in the gem.
Yeah, we got to do it.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for taking time today
Yeah.
and coming on.
Thanks so much, man. All
Good
right, I'll
luck
see you
this
later.
week. Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.